6'4" sophomore guard, West Virginia, former Fighting Illini as well. Big Ten fans might be familiar with him. Sencire Harris has entered the transfer portal. Started his career at Illinois, like I stated, played for West Virginia last season. Was kind of like a bench spark guy. I think that's kind of what maybe Sincere's role will be for his college career until he takes a step offensively. But I don't think you can deny that he's a really good on-ball defender and an energy guy. He almost averaged 2 steals a game last season, just a little under 6 points. He's a native of Ohio, and he now finds himself in the transfer portal once again. Just to add a little backstory here, um, I think that his head recruiter at Illinois was former assistant coach Chester Frazier. Chester Frazier leaves Illinois, goes to West Virginia. Sincere and Amani Hansberry follow him to West Virginia. Darian DeVries gets a job at Indiana. Now, seemingly, Chester Frazier's probably going to be leaving West Virginia as well. I don't know if he's announced it yet, but you know, we'll talk about it on another video on the channel. Hansberry's in the transfer portal as well, and so is Sincere Harris. So, there's a lot of factors to throw in here. He might just follow Chester. Maybe Chester goes to Indiana. I guess we'll kind of see there. But Dion, what do you think the prospects are for Sincere Harris, and is this just a he's going to follow Chester situation?
I think him and Amani follow Chester. I think obviously Indiana's involved. West Virginia's probably involved in Chester too. I don't. I said this on the Amani video. I don't see Chester wanting to be on Russ Hodge's staff. I don't know how to say Coach Hodge. I
Coach
don't see
Hodge,
him wanting to.
please respect Coach Hodge.
Yeah, I don't want him. I don't see him wanting to be on Coach Hodges' staff because he was like gung ho about getting the job himself, and then you hire like another lower, like a mid-major guy. I feel like at some point, like ego wise, he might be like, "I'm good," but maybe not. I hope he isn't because I'd like to keep Imani and Sincere, but I mean, I could see him going back to the Big Ten because of how much success he had at Illinois. But. Um, I think Sincere and Amani ultimately follow Chester wherever he goes, or they stick around if Chester chooses to stick around. But them entering the portal is a clear sign Chester's probably also considering doing something. Um, this kid's gonna be in the NBA one day if he gets a jump shot. Like that's the level of defender. You mentioned it, the on-ball defending. The
Mhm.
level of defender he is, if he can shoot 30-ish% one of his years, an NBA team's gonna bite. That's the type of talent that you're getting on the defensive end. I think he's probably more fit if you're like a high-end mid-major school, because that will allow him to have the freedom offensively to experiment and kind of develop on that side. But I think when his first list comes out, we're going to see some teams on there we're a little surprised. But I think you're going to see like some blue bloods. I think you're going to see some really high end Power Five schools just because you have 2 years, probably three, the NCAA eligibility is to develop any semblance of a jump shot. And then you have like an NBA guy on your team all of a sudden.
Yeah, look, his defense and his energy is something that I think some team could really use. And like you stated, if he gets any semblance of a jumper, you have a guy that you could put on there as an on-ball defender, and be a really good player. And there is that type of ceiling for that type of guy in that role, in the league. I think his passing would have to come along as well because he's basically like a 6'3" shooting guard who can't shoot, right? And he's not really a passer either. So it's like he really has to be really good on the defensive end and use his energy. I said this. I just want to throw this out here again because I said it when he left Illinois. I think it would benefit him to go and develop more at like a higher mid-major school. Like you can still get seen there. Maybe even you're good there and when I was talking about it before, I was like, go to a mid-major, and if you really take that jump and you really make a leap offensively, like maybe you go from that mid-major back up to the high major level if you want to get back in the transfer portal. Crazy, that's how the world works right now. You like treat it like it's the treatment majors, like they're the triple A's, like go find your confidence back. But he's an Ohio kid, went to St. Vincent, St. Mary's. I said this when he left Illinois. I think Dayton would be a really good spot for him. I do. Like, I think Dayton's graduating some guards. I think that he can use his defense in the A10. I think he can be a really effective player in that league. And I think also just Coach Grant is a good development of talent. Like, I think he's had guys that have developed over their years at that school. And obviously, there's the Ohio connection there. So I think he'd be really good there. But also, if I'm sincere, I just saw Jake Diebler give Gabe Cups like 600K, so I might ask for 1.1.
Yeah, I also watched Anthony Grant just go absolutely insane in the NIT.
Yeah,
He's
I
gonna
like
have to
that.
drop a bag for me. Like I would like to play for that guy, but I'm also gonna need a little bit of a bag. Also, if you ever like, I'm a LeBron hater, but if you ever want to question the impact he's had on the sport, you said this guy went to St. Vincent St. Mary's. In my opinion, immediately changed. Like he's the next up. Like
You take a shot on him because of that.
yeah, that's all I needed.
Or like, I mean, I'm thinking of any like mid-major, even if he doesn't want to go. Like, I know it's the MAC, but like, go to Akron, go be a Zip. Like the Zips make the tournament. Like they're a really good team in the MAC.
And maybe I'm too obsessed with the St. Vincent St. Mary's connection, but Duquesne.
Yeah, that'd also be a good shot. I think Duquesne's in the A10 too, so like that same like kind of level as Dayton. But I mean, you think he's gonna follow, follow Chester, and I'm assuming Chester's gonna end up on a high major staff, maybe at Indiana. Could you see him being a fit at Indiana? Like as a honestly, what you're doing is I think you're upgrading a version of Gabe Cupps with all the like he'd be an energy bench guy.
I was gonna say I think he's a better Anthony Leal too, right? Where it's
Mhm.
like you can see with Anthony Leal the problem is like no one sees what the end goal vision is behind Anthony Leal. He was phenomenal, right? Like I don't know if college basketball does plus minus, but I bet you he had the best plus minus on Indiana if they keep that stat. But Sincere Harris, you can genuinely see a vision where it's like, hey, this kid could be Patrick Beverly one day.
Yeah, and like if he's also the type of player too that could be like I don't have a better term for it, but like a school cult hero kind of.
Hmm.
Like a fan favorite, like he does all the little things. Maybe he isn't the guy that scores all crazy or something like that, but like a integral piece to a winning It's got to be a winning basketball team. Otherwise,
Yeah.
you get mad. You're like, "What? All right, why the hell is Sincere Pair?" Like, it's got to be some winning environment, some winning team. But we'll see how it goes. There's not a list out for Sincere yet, but we'll kind of have to keep an eye on and see what he's looking like.
This is gonna sound nuts, but hear me out on it. This kid would be sick at Duke, where he just comes off the bench and protects all the McDonald's All-Americans.
Just the enforcer.
He's the enforcer off the bench. You pick up the guy that's annoying Cam Boozer 94 feet for the next like 10 minutes just because he bothered Cam Boozer on a
Dyer
possession.
calls him in on the bullpen. It's like he's got the same as ass Sincere. Well,
That's
get
that's
in there.
like just use him the way the Clippers use Patrick Beverly. Oh, Kawhi's mad. Pat, you got hit for the next like 5 minutes.
I could also see Sincere Harris having a Barstool podcast with Roan's son somewhere down the line, but we'll have to see where it ends up. I would keep an eye on where Chester Frazier ends up getting a job at, but also maybe Sincere opens his options on this next stop. But we'll see what it's looking like. We'll have updates when his list comes out. It is March, and that means that March Madness is upon us. And if you are looking for a place to play, Underdog Fantasy has you covered. Sign up and deposit using code SLEEPERS, that's code SLEEPERS, to receive up to $1,000 in bonus credit plus a free pick. Head over to Underdog Fantasy today and use promo code SLEEPERS to take advantage of this amazing offer.